but we're gonna have fun today.
We are.
You already had your little shot of the multi-mushroom syrup? Yes. So, well, that's our job. That's our job. That's what we do.
All right, welcome to all the people attending live. We're going to start now. Any questions,
Yeah.
we'll try to answer either during, but definitely at the end.
So our mission here is to bring the medicine of the forest to you, the people living in the city. I know it's pretty rough out there.
Yeah, and we believe in Alberta, we have everything we need, eh, Denis? Like, I didn't believe it until, we went out foraging about 10 years ago, and Denis was showing me, we have reishi here, we have chaga, we even have lion's mane, which is something we're going to dive into a little deeper.
Yeah, in the last 2 years or so, 3 years now, I don't know. We really had to ask ourselves, like, okay, we're herbalists. We work with these herbs from around the world, and what do we do if supply chain is all tangled up, whatever?
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong from like sourcing these wild herbs from all over the world because they have their use too. But we're thinking, what if that crashed? What if we couldn't get, our Amazon jungle tea? So yeah, this is sort of our niche. Welcome. Is to focus on what Alberta has to provide.
Yeah, that's really how we got started here. Looking at what we do have here in Alberta, because believe it or not, we have some of the most potent medicines in the whole world, and some of the most valuable herbs in the world are here in Alberta. So it's just, we just gotta check it out.
Just gotta find it.
Yeah. So this is our little mission statement, but it's honestly, this is what this has been our mission the whole time. Bringing the medicine of the forest to you. What does it feel like when you're in the forest? Well, when you take a little sip of our mushroom syrup, that's kind of what the feeling is.
Yeah, we want to take you there. And ultra potency is our second staple here. We try to make it ultra potent. So our tinctures are dual extracted. Often people ask, why do we use alcohol in our products? And, for 3 reasons. Number one, it potentiates the medicine. It's going to go into your bloodstream, bypass your stomach. Number 2, it's shelf stable. It's not going to go bad. And number 3, the alcohol actually pulls out. It draws out a lot of the medicinal value. Stuff that water cannot extract, the alcohol can extract. And that's what we mean when we say dual extraction. So it's a combination of a water extraction with an alcohol extraction, and then we combine the two at the end for a lovely union of health.
Because we've seen like people buy, like here at Light Cellar, you can buy the chaga mushroom itself. People don't realize though that it's quite a process to extract it. We've seen people just pour hot water over it and try to get it out. But you're probably only getting 1/10 of the value of the medicine here. So that's what we do. Create ultra potent products. It's the idea. So that, we're getting every single molecule of medicine out of these things for you. It's this thing. Yeah, this is the chaga mushroom. Everyone had a little multi-mushroom syrup, eh? Started off here. Yeah, check it out. This is the real chaga. So pass around. Feel how hefty it is. It's a chonker. Yeah, something we would like to see in the future too. Well, one of our mission statements is affordability. So we want to make this medicine accessible to the people as well. So It's always something we keep in mind.
Absolutely. And also empower people to learn how to forage themselves, right? And we always talk
Yes.
about the ethics of foraging. We're not going to really get into that today, but if foraged properly, these mushrooms they'll grow back and they'll replenish the forest and they'll make medicine for years to come.
So something we always like to talk about is market-driven conservation of ecosystems.
Oh yeah.
Because believe it or not, this chaga is very plentiful in Alberta, but geez Louise, they're you know, I think they're selling the forest for $1 a tree these days. And we just really want to, you know, this is more valuable than $1, right? Like that's a nice chunk of chaga. So it is here in Alberta. We want people to start valuing the forest. You know, when people are stuck in the city, they don't really know what we got. We got them one of the most expensive herbs in the world here. Why is chaga so expensive? Well, because it works, right?
Yeah, and chaga is one of the mushrooms in our multi-mushroom blend that you all just tried.
Yeah.
We use chaga from Alberta, ancient reishi, the Ganoderma aplanata from Alberta.
Yeah. So this is a reishi mushroom. Basically, this is our Alberta wild reishi, Ganoderma aplanata. You can pass this around too. Check it out.
Yeah, also in our blend, we have the amadou. The amadou, the horseshoe fungus, this one is shown to have a lot of antiviral properties. Pass that
The
around.
amadou is amazing. It grows on birch.
Also, we include the birch polypore. This one is more abundant. You'll find a lot of this obviously growing on birch trees. And this is actually an intestinal parasite killer. And yeast overgrowth, it's been traditionally used to combat intestinal parasites.
We might get a little controversial here because we're talking about things like healing asthma. Asthma? That's right. This is like one of the greatest asthma herbs because all these mushrooms help the immune system.
And two Phalinus species, Phalinus ignarius, Phalinus tremuli. These in themselves are pretty potent too.
Yeah, the Phalinus species, like some of these mushrooms are not as popular as chaga or reishi. This grows on aspen trees. I'm sure you've all seen this one. This is just as good as chaga mushroom. The latest research on these mushrooms, they can lengthen the telomeres of your DNA. So yeah, they're
the mushroom of immortality.
yes,
eh,
so
Denise?
perhaps they are.
And last but not least, this is called the red-belted polypore, the red-belted conch.
This is the
Omitopsis
aspen conch.
panicola.
Phalinus tremulae.
This one's beautiful, as you can see. So this red belt is separating the new annual layer. So you can actually identify how old the mushroom is by counting the rings. And this one is quite powerful. This one initiates something called apoptosis. Apoptosis is the spontaneous death of cancer cells. So another taboo thing to talk about, but the science is there, Denis.
Yeah,
All we're doing is relaying the science.
yeah.
So red-belted polypore.
This is the red-belted conch. Yeah.
So
It's
all
beautiful.
of these mushrooms were carefully selected by us to synergistically make a medicine, which is what everyone just sampled. So that's called our multi-mushroom blend. So,
You know, and I've actually been using this mushroom specifically for first aid of the emotions. This mushroom can calm the mind. Well, most of these mushrooms actually are incredibly valuable for quieting the mind, which I'm sure we could all use that, right? But no, a tea. when you drink this stuff, you immediately get a zen kind of feeling. It's neat.
All right, so we're not doing a deep dive into those mushrooms, but we did want to give you a brief overview of what you just tasted.
Okay, right on.
But
so
we are going to talk about this and do a bit of a deep dive into our new product.
So we're unleashing a new product upon the people today. Well, we made this formula. We're going to sample it out to you here. This is the Brainiac blend, and we know we're kind of I don't know if you can see it.
The Brainiac blend.
It might be emotional for some people, but this is a blend that can increase memory, focus, concentration. It works on this. It works by quieting your mind, right? When you're not thinking about things outside of the moment of now, right? That's when you can actually pay attention to what is here. So this blend is known to enhance memory dramatically.
So we use two very special mushrooms in our Brainiac blend. Number one, the wild Alberta lion's mane.
Yeah.
And number two, the artist conch,
The
which
wild
is
reishi.
the ancient reishi. So let's take a deep dive. Let's talk about lion's mane, wild Alberta lion's mane.
Yeah. So here's a photo of the lion's mane. Oh, you can see here. It's like this is the wild Alberta lion's mane, Hericium coralloides, and this mushroom is very interesting because it does not have gills. It does not have pores, but it has teeth. They call it dendrites. But you can see, like, does this look like the nervous system? It's exactly like the nervous system.
Exactly. And it's been proven to regenerate the nervous system and to regenerate brain cells. So this mushroom can actually cross the blood-brain barrier and make us smarter, enhance our memory, sharpen our focus.
Yeah,
and where we found this mushroom, Denis, it's one of the wildest parts of Alberta.
Yeah, we foraged this mushroom from probably one of the oldest, most ancient forests in Alberta. Cool thing about it is that what you see there is just the fruit of the mushroom. The actual mushroom lives in the forest floor.
And let's just say I had a bit of a bear experience.
Oh yeah.
We encountered a bear while harvesting the mushrooms from this private reserve. So, and also where we go in Alberta, this land is known to have the biggest wolves in the world.
Yeah, biggest wolves ever recorded in North America were from this forest. It's pretty wild place.
Yeah, you got to watch out for cougars. If you're bringing your dog, it's wild. It's wild.
Yeah, I've personally had some occasions where, just west of here, we got the Kananaskis Public Land Use Zone, McLean Creek area. It's where you can go foraging, but it's also where there's a lot of timber kind of clear cutting going on. It's kind of rough because, I've had my most beautiful spots. I'd come back every year and get these. And next year, they just clear cut the whole thing. Darn. That's what we really want to make people realize, like, whoa, is this intact forest more valuable than building these shitty houses? There's some shitty houses being built with this. It makes me furious. Yeah. I don't know why we started this, but yeah. The lion's mane, of course.
And the lion's mane, like, it's getting well known. Like most people these days that I talk to, they're like, oh yeah, lion's mane, that one's good for the brain, right? So it does make me happy to see that people are interested in, learning about this. And I think there's something that draws us to, we call these nootropics, things that can act on our nervous system, enhance our brain and memory. These are called nootropics. And I myself, I don't know if you're in the audience or in the classroom, I'm drawn towards something that can make me smarter. You know, brain fog is a thing, stress is a thing. What if we had tools in our toolbox that we can take regularly that can help us?
Yeah, and it's not only just the brain, right? The lion's mane is good for the whole nervous system. It's interesting. So it can be if you've had a terrible like injury, the lion's mane can actually help with the nerves that have been damaged by some sort of like
nerve regeneration.
It can remyelinate the sheath of your brain. So
also, it's delicious. Put your hands up if you've ever fried up a lion's mane mushroom. A delicacy, edible. It almost gives that steak, like you're eating a steak.
Yeah, it's so good to eat it.
Yeah, that's number one. That's the first mushroom.
Yeah, the other really cool thing about lion's mane is that it can actually it was famous for healing the gut. So it can help with ulcers. So I find it very interesting. It's like the brain gut connection. Real thing.
Yeah. So we combine this mushroom with the wild ancient reishi, the Ganoderma applanatum. I call it a symbiotic nootropic because one of the coolest things about the ancient reishi, there's a lot of benefits to taking this mushroom, but I think the coolest is it acts as a vasodilator. So
it's one of the reasons we combined it.
It can actually expand your blood vessels. So what do you think happens when our blood vessels expand? I mean, lots more blood flow, more oxygen delivery to tissues, more metabolic waste removal. There's so much going on when we can increase our blood flow. So then you combine increased blood flow with nerve regeneration. It's a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, reishi famously is used for enhancing wisdom, intellect, and all these kind of things. So how does it work? It's very interesting. Very interesting. It actually works on the liver. So it's a liver detoxifier, liver purifier. So when your blood is clean, it can you have more oxygen to your brain. It's very interesting.
Yep, so that's the artist conch. And I mentioned this before, but grizzly bears are actually, or the alpha silverback male is known to grab this off the tree, protect it from the rest of the gorillas. So that's our new product, the Brainiac. We were going to call it the brain boosting syrup, but I don't know. We can't make too many health claims.
We can't make too many health claims, but the science is out there. Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna wrap that up and take a deep dive into our Boreal balm. So we use pine needles, juniper berries, Douglas fir sap, usnea lichen, and yarrow.
Yeah, little do we know, like everything you see in the forest is medicinal. You go walk in the forest here and Alberta is so blessed to have so much good medicine. It's wild. Just pine trees. It's nuts. Just pine trees. It's amazing.
Yeah, let's talk about the pine needles. Pine needles are very fascinating, and they're also abundant. Put your hands up if you can identify a pine tree. Yeah, pretty easy. And did you know that you can make medicine with the needles? You could make honey, you could make a hydrosol spray. Yeah, they're abundant. So pine needles are very antibacterial.
Do we have some of the Boreal balm to pass around?
Very. They're also loaded with antioxidants.
The great thing about the balm is that it's transdermally absorbed. So when you put it on your skin, you're actually eating these medicinal herbs through your skin.
Absolutely.
It's very interesting.
So pine needles are also antifungal. So you're going to notice a theme with a lot of the herbs in our balm. A lot of them are antifungal. And a lot of skin issues are caused from fungus, which is funny because we love picking mushrooms, and those are fungus too, but fungi.
Yeah, the pine, when used topically, of course, is full of essential oils. So these essential oils, of course, are incredibly valuable. Yeah, basically, when you make this salve, all of those things are going into your bloodstream directly where you put it. So in a lot of cases, like arthritis and stuff, when you have arthritis, you cannot, your immune system can't actually get to those places. So by putting these herbs on topically, you're going directly into the bloodstream, directly where you need it. So it can be more effective than just drinking the pine needle tea. You could just drink the tea.
And pine needles are also loaded with vitamin C. So back in the scurvy days, pine needles, drinking a pine needle tea was one of the ways, a cheap way to prevent, sailors from getting scurvy. It's also loaded with vitamin K. And vitamin C and vitamin K, when combined, can help produce collagen. So keeping your skin tight and youthful looking. So as well as being antifungal, it also has, a beauty aspect to it. It could, help reduce fine lines, wrinkles. I think that's pretty cool. And has anyone here heard of a man named Hippocrates? Apparently, this was his number one thing for respiratory ailments.
Yes, so the Boreal balm can be used on your chest when you have any kind of congestion.
Congestion in the lungs, in the voice.
It's like a vapor rub.
Astringent. So astringent means like tightening, squeezing and pulling out the phlegm, the unwanted stuff that our bodies are carrying, holding on to. It's just sort of speeding up the healing process, which this is sort of taboo. I don't know if we're going to get into this too much, but during, are we still living in the COVID times? I don't know. This, when used topically, can help protect your DNA. So I'll let you use your imagination for why you'd want to do that, but it could help protect your DNA.
Definitely not to be used as a sex lube. Though, it kind of works. Talk about a penis species or pinus.
So yeah,
it does enhance circulation wherever you put it. Let's just say.
And there's other ways you could make a pine needle tea. You could make pine needle dessert. You could diffuse it if you have a diffuser. Just go outside, pick some fresh pine needles and put them in your diffuser. You can make a hydrosol spray. So it's sort of up to you to be the creative worker of all these different herbs.
Yeah, it brings warmth and circulation wherever you put it. So it is amazing also for sore muscles, like sore muscles, aches and pains in the joints kind of thing. Rub it on and
Yeah, everyone feeling good about the pine? Ready to move on to the next warrior of the blend? Yeah, it's gonna
right
smell like
on.
Christmas. Oh, this is we're gonna have fun talking about this. Juniper berries.
So yeah, that's probably my favorite thing. It is a lot of work to pick this stuff. You know, if you ever tried to pick juniper, it will attack you if you're not it protects itself. It's like it's amazing. The common juniper.
It's abundant though, eh, Denis? Like Denis and I run a lot of field trips for schools, and so we have to pick up the students and get to the forest. So that usually takes anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes of walking. The amount of juniper berry bushes we'll see, it's hard not to stop and talk, you know, when there's traffic. But yeah, literally juniper berries that are at your fingertips. They're everywhere. And they're commonly, obviously, everyone knows juniper to be what? What type of alcohol does it make? Gin. But do you know that it's one of the most powerful herbs to use topically?
Yeah, absolutely. It's and it's so beautiful too. Like to find something blue like that in the forest is so cool. Love them. And they're not berries at all, eh? The juniper berries are actually the pine cones of the juniper berry. So
okay, so juniper berries, when used topically, we're gonna, yeah, feel free to take notes. First thing that comes to my mind, very antiseptic. So that's gonna help with infections. So instantly I think of like a first aid remedy. When we're out in the bush foraging, we always have a bottle of Boreal balm or balm of Gilead with us just because of this reason. It can literally ward off infections almost immediately.
yeah, and it's very famously used for any kind of skin ailment where you have flaky, dry skin.
Yes.
It's
yes,
eczema.
exactly. So the juniper berries can actually balance sebum production. So like that oily layer in your skin. So if you have too much oil in your skin, it could bring it down. If you have enough, not enough, it can promote your body to make more. So it's a sebum skin balancer. Say that for
Yes.
sebum skin balancer.
Sebum skin balancer.
So of course it's good for like acne, stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah, it's all very interesting. We got a question in the audience?
Yeah.
Well, the best way to use the juniper is to extract it into an oil. So that's what you do. To make the boreal balm, you have to do a double boiler. So you need to gently heat the oil. You know, it's a pot of boiling water, and then you put another pot on top of it. So 6 to 8 hours in that kind of extraction with the hot oil, and there you go. And then we add a little beeswax, which is also good for the skin. We didn't quite put that in there, but
yes, we talked about the antiseptic properties. They're also high in antioxidants, in particular flavonoids, and these are also used in the cosmetic industry, for wrinkle reduction. So cosmetically, first aid, they're also quite astringent themselves.
so tightening to tissues.
So tighten your tissues.
Yeah, tonic in a way.
And this one is, I don't know if I was going to mention it today. Denis and I were talking about this last night.
Rub it on your bum.
No, well, it's very good for cellulite. Cellulite.
Cellulose.
Yeah, I know it's a sensitive topic, but there's some interesting research. So it increases circulation to the sebaceous layer. So the sebaceous layer is where the cellulite's forming. So more circulation to this layer of skin called the sebaceous layer. And then there's compounds in the juniper berries that actually dissolve the fat. So you're increasing circulation to the area of the cellulite, and then it's dissolving the fat. So
Yes, it's also very famous for making your hair beautiful. So, I like to put in my mustache, and it seems to work as like a beard balm, yeah, kind of thing.
it also smells. It smells amazing.
It smells good too, so you get sniffed up.
But what we did notice is when we originally started creating this batch, we experimented with using the essential oil, and a lot of people are sensitive to the juniper berry essential oil. So there's no essential oils like directly added to our balm. It is literally the herb, the plant we actually simmer down or extract, which we haven't had any reports of sensitivity, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of magic. It's kind of magic what we have here. Like everything we need is just across the river there. It's pretty wild.
I hope everyone views juniper berries a little bit different now.
Oh yeah.
Let's move on to our next warrior. So
okay, the golden goose.
So Douglas fir sap.
So sap from the trees is, everyone knows about frankincense, right?
Frankincense oil.
So basically we have frankincense here.
Denis, is this Douglas fir sap just as good as frankincense?
Well, yes, I would dare say.
So yeah, let's talk about why that is.
So very similar to the pine needles in a lot of ways. It is concentrated in the sap though. So incredibly rich in the essential oils that you find in all conifers. So it doesn't have to be Douglas fir. It could be spruce. It could be pine. It could be.
And that's all. It's also called pitch.
Yeah.
Or resin. And you see it on a lot of trees. Just be aware of it now. Sometimes if I've got a sore throat or a tickle in my throat, I instantly will get relief by putting a piece of it and just sucking on it.
Yeah. I've been known to actually, if I have a sore throat, I'll eat the balm. I'll eat it and coat my throat with it. It works. It works great. Yes, it's so valuable for healing the skin. Any kind of injuries, any kind of burns, any kind of cuts. And it'll actually help it'll help heal the skin. So one of the coolest things that I've researched about Douglas fir sap is its ability to increase microcirculation upon being applied topically. So we all know what circulation is. Well, microcirculation is, our micro blood vessels, which account for 70% of all our circulation. It's not really talked about a lot, but we have this thing called microcirculation. And when you can improve microcirculation, that's when the true healing could happen, right? Because that's the last gate before healing. And then the Douglas fir sap is known. Obviously, it's going to be the region that you put it on. It's going to increase the microcirculation. So like Denis was saying earlier, you can literally rub it on your chest or your throat. Yeah.
I mean, anywhere. Your feet.
On your belly, if you have a bellyache, it works. Yeah, rub it on the feet. Yeah. Smart. That's smart.
Rub it on your feet.
Yeah. You go. It's very sexy to give foot massages, gentlemen. It's a very sexy thing. But it's probably one of the greatest, it's probably one of the most important ingredients in the balm. The sap. Yeah.
And the sap has also been shown to increase white blood cell activity. I know this is just all science, but white blood cell activity is going to promote the wound healing like we've been talking about.
Okay.
So, yeah, this one also smells amazing.
Yes.
Okay, sap.
And definitely it's very effective against infections. So an infected wound, when you put this stuff on, it's tremendous if you know, I've never really had a bad infected wound because I think it's because I put this stuff on, right?
Yeah.
But cuts, burns, sore muscles.
As you can see, there's a theme here. They're all sort of related, a little bit different.
The cool thing about the Douglas firs too is that they're one of the oldest ecosystems in Alberta. So we are so lucky to have Douglas fir here in Calgary. This stuff, we foraged it up. This is from the mountains out by Canmore kind of area, the Scoop. But it is the oldest, wildest ecosystem in Alberta. The Douglas firs are so neat. You've all gone to Edwardley Park, right? The big Douglas fir trail there. And you've been to Bowness, right? Like, you know how there's like the big bridge there and you can like hike up there? Those are the oldest trees in Calgary. They are so neat, beautiful, and they support so many species of not just animals, but all the plants, I think there's like 300 different species of birds, insects, plants associated with Douglas fir. It is
yeah, and it's all connected.
Yeah. It is so you're putting that Boreal bulb on your
old man's beards.
Okay, that's next. All right,
Old
Usnea.
man beard. Old man, yeah.
So
that's its street name.
Yeah,
it's called Usnea lichen, and this one is very powerful. This arguably has the strongest, if not one of the strongest, antibiotic applications.
Antibiotic, antiviral, antifungal.
So when we talk about Usnea lichen, it's highly medicinal. We're extracting it for its antibiotic, antiviral, antifungal effects.
I was introduced to using Usnea topically by a native lady out on Vancouver Island. She was making a Usnea salve, and you know, if you know someone that has like athlete's foot or whatever, fungal infection.
Why don't we talk about what is Usnea lichen today?
Yeah, it's so interesting.
What is it? What the heck is it?
It's so interesting. It is part mushroom, part algae.
Part algae?
We don't know what started this symbiotic relationship between the algae and the fungi.
It's bizarre.
But they took a liking to each other. Is the joke, right?
Okay.
They took a liking to each other.
This is where I like to get a bit sciencey. So it's got a property called usneic acid. Usneic acid, which has literally been proven to help fight superbugs like MRSA.
Multi-strain resistant to antibiotics.
Yeah.
There's about 90 different compounds in Usnea lichen that are antiviral. It's 90 different pathways.
Yeah, and it can be taken internally. You just have to be cautious of the dose. We were making a really cool throat spray during the start of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Which we ran out of people. It was literally crushing whatever virus was affecting people. It's fascinating.
And I'm pretty sure when you take it through the skin that It works too. It works. It goes
Yeah.
into your blood through the skin. It's awesome.
Also very antifungal. So
Yeah,
It's-
my friend had like his thumbnail was all like getting eaten by, I don't know, something or other. It was all yellow, and he started putting the usnea on it, and it's good as new. It's good as new. It like regenerated completely.
yeah, question in the audience.
Oh yeah. So the question for the audience: can you just chomp on these things? Well, you could. You could totally pack your cheek with it, like chew on it.
Or I would maybe chew on it to get those enzymes flowing and then maybe put it on like a wound.
Yeah, you know, totally.
Get the amylase, the saliva enzymes that are breaking it.
The usnea lichen can actually be used to stop a bleeding wound too. So if you're in a first aid situation, say, let's say you take a beautiful woman to the forest, and there's some sort of wild dog that comes by, and yeah, you know, it'll stop a bleeding wound right away.
Another thing that comes to mind is usnea lichen is often associated with foot beauty. So think like athlete's foot, dry, cracked feet. I've seen a lot of weird looking feet in my day, and
This guy's a hockey player.
yeah, and this stuff is magic. You just add it, load it on before bed because it is going to take a while to soak in, and you wake up with feet looking like you're a teenager again.
Yeah, it's probably one of the most important herbs in the blend, but it doesn't smell like anything.
No, and that's the thing. Like I said, this one is just like medicine. Like we don't even have any examples here, but it doesn't smell like anything.
Yeah, there's a whole there's so many interesting things about using medicinal mushrooms topically. I know a lot of people are using like chaga mushroom topically on their skin, but usnea lichen is a medicinal mushroom. Usnea lichen has all the same compounds as reishi, as far as it goes.
Sort of looks like my beard.
Yeah,
Old man's beard. Ah, before we move on, how does one forage this? This is very important. I'm gonna ask.
yeah.
You taught me this years ago. Like how do you, first of all, where does it grow? What part of Alberta does it grow, and what trees? And then how to say ethically sourced?
Yeah, because usnea lichen is very sensitive to pollution. So you will never find lichen growing in
An industrialized part of
yeah, the lichen is very sensitive. It's very interesting. But yes, it grows in the old growth kind of forest and trees, and you're never supposed to pick the lichen off the living tree. Apparently, it offends the organism. You do it's you'll hurt its feelings. You know what I mean? So you don't want to hurt its feelings. So what you do is you go look in the forest after a windstorm. There'll be all this lichen scattered around on the forest floor. So you're never supposed to pick the lichen from the living tree, lest you hurt its feelings. You don't want to.
Oh, we don't want to hurt the tree's feelings. I mean, it's abundant just on the forest floor. That's all you need.
It seems like it likes us because find a lot of it.
Yeah, so we talked a lot about usnea. Does everyone?
And it totally looks like the lungs too, hey?
Yeah.
Like they call it the lungs of the forest. Yeah, it's
The last ingredient in this blend is
yarrow.
yarrow.
Okay, so honestly, if I was gonna pick one single herb to pick in Alberta every year, it's yarrow. Like, I think it's probably one of my number one most important herbs, and it's everywhere.
It grows everywhere. It grows in my front yard. It grows in my backyard. It's all over. I do highly recommend you try to start identifying this and maybe make your own medicine. You can do so much with this. The smell is beautiful.
And there are ornamental varieties, like people plant yarrow, and there's yellow yarrow and pink yarrow and in their gardens. But if you take a leaf, you crush it and smell it. If it's fragrant, then it's good medicine. Yes, this was Achilles' herb. If you know Achilles, the warrior, guess he did something and fought the Trojans, but
apparently this was his go-to herb for healing injured warriors.
Yeah, he was so successful because after every battle, he would rub this yarrow on the wounds of his warriors. And it is one of the herbs that is so important for first aid. If you ever have a bleeding cut, you can take this, chew it, put it on the wound, and it'll stop the bleeding right away.
And it's probably more common to find this than usnea. So it grows up on the ground. Like Denis was saying, it's very antiseptic. That's probably its strongest purpose. I mean, there's countless different ways to use yarrow.
Antiseptic, and also, I forget the term for something that stops bleeding, but stop the bleeding cut. Blood clots. So first, well, internally, perhaps. Its name, it's actually called the Queen of the Blood. So it's very interesting because it's so useful for menstrual problems too. It's the tea itself, when you drink it, is really useful. But we work here with a lot of girls. We got a lot of girls here, and I give them gifts. I give them this balm, right? And I never thought of this. I'm a dude, but this one beautiful woman, she started putting the balm on her when she was having PMS cramps or menstrual cramps. She would put it on her lower back and her belly, and she said it works like magic. It works like magic. Oh yeah. We'll have to get her to do a little video for us.
Yeah.
It's
that's a good point. It's also analgesic. So anti-pain. So antiseptic, analgesic. It's also astringent as well. This is a cool story. I was doing Yarrow Willard was leading a plant walk. One of our friends, Yarrow.
He's the director of the Wild Rose College right now.
And
the son of Terry Willard.
Yeah, just brilliant man. Learned so much from him. He was saying, have you guys ever heard of LAS? Has anyone here heard of LAS? No, you haven't? Leaky aura syndrome? He was just sort of joking, but legend has it that yarrow, when sprayed or used topically, can help shield your aura. So it can help keep in your good energy and prevent other people from stealing it. It's sort of a joke, but that really resonated with me. Leaky aura. Yeah. So you can diffuse it. You can use it as a spray, a perfume. Obviously, we use it in our cream here. Yeah, very fascinating.
Yeah, it is called the Queen of the Blood. It's interesting. It's growing everywhere here, right? And these herbs are growing here for a reason. These herbs are here for us. Like, they're here. They're meant for us to be using them. So it's interesting when women drink yarrow tea. Men should drink yarrow tea too, right? We should drink it too, but it's especially helpful for women. It can it can regulate the menstrual cycle. So it's interesting. Women, of course, when their cycle is in a beautiful monthly rhythm, it's beautiful. And then, but it can go like this. Whoa! You're riding the dragon of emotions, men and women. I have to deal with that too. But when women drink the yarrow, yeah, their menstrual cycle becomes regulated.
Oh, and protect your aura. I mean, it's 2023. I need that before I wake up, before I step out of my house.
So the interesting thing is when the menstrual cycle is so wild like that, it's very stressful for women. So women that start drinking yarrow tea, they report they have a pep in their step again. It makes them peppy, but it's just because they're not having so much stress on their body and their emotions from wild, wild things. But yeah, no. Oh, stuff there. Oh, it's love it.
So yeah, very good, Denise. That's our last ingredient in the Boreal bomb.
Yeah, you all felt it, hey? You all put some on, right?
So we had to summarize what, like, an overview of what you can use it for. So this is very general. Yeah, obviously, it's a moisturizer.
I put it on every time I do the dishes.
I mean, living in Calgary, Alberta, it's dry here.
Yeah,
we got to be taking care of the moisture of our skin.
I do so many dishes. My skin, I put it on after every time I do the dishes, after every time I have a shower or something like that, and it makes your skin beautiful. We see everyone here in Alberta is like,
oh yeah, I mean,
and
we go to hundreds of markets, and we're putting it on people's hands, and full transparency, like, most people have really dry hands here.
Yeah, it's nuts. That's Alberta anyway.
That's Alberta. Skin infections. We did a deep dive. Basically, every one of those herbs can help with a skin infection. Antiseptic. Sore muscles. We didn't really talk about this, but we have a lot of cool feedback from just people using it as like a massage ointment.
Yeah, it has to do with how it brings warmth and circulation. Where you put it? Yeah, warmth and circulation. So really help any kind of pain like that, wound healing, cosmetically anti-aging. Well, how old am I? I don't know. Doing pretty good.
Yeah, that's cool. Anti-aging. Who doesn't want to try to look younger?
My favorite thing, one of my very favorite things to do with the balm is when it's -40 with the wind chill. So I smear like a thick layer on my face, and it makes you impervious to the wind because it has it's the beeswax, but also has all the resins, like it has the saps. It makes you completely impervious to the cold. It's super cool, and it brings warmth and circulation. So
he does. And if I ever need any myself, I just go like this.
Oh, that wasn't. That's just because I'm a greasy man.
It's true.
And
antifungal.
Antifungal. Yeah, that's what we got going on here. But yeah, that's our presentation today. Well, we hope that really we opened your eyes to.
Yeah, we wanted to do a deep dive with stuff that
is
at your fingertips. Like, you can go out.
We got good stuff here in Alberta. Everything.
For the stuff that we tried to send alcohol, you guys think like a grain alcohol or like what do you use to break it down?
Oh yeah.
So
the question from the audience was, what alcohol do we use? We use for the brain blend. We're using the rectified spirits from Poland, so it's 95% alcohol.
Yeah.
And it's not a green alcohol at all. It's not a green alcohol. It's interesting. So it's good for people that are intolerant to like some people are sensitive to even alcohol from grains. So it's not a grain alcohol. It's 95% alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously
From
we
Poland.
diluted at the end. It's 95%. That's gonna
Spiritus rectificus.
maximize the extraction.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the final, I guess, just to end that note, the final alcohol content of the syrups is 20%. Okay, so if you've ever had something like 20%, not much stronger than a Bailey's. I haven't had Bailey's in a while, but I don't really.
if you do want to have fun, I recommend drinking a whole bottle at once. It's 30. Might be $30, but
And what are you gonna do with
might
that
be
experience?
$30, but you know,
You'll become one with the lion's mane.
yeah. No, like
No, or the opposite is true too. Have a drop a day. Really become
spirit of
the
forest.
spirit of, you don't
Spirit.
need to take the recommended dose. You can have more, you can have less. Really, we try to recommend to get in tune with what your body actually wants. Use your intuition.
What I really noticed taking the brain blend, it's very subtle, but when you wake up in the morning, I noticed like it doesn't take me so long. Like sometimes it takes me a while, gotta go like make this coffee and stuff and get ready. But when I've noticed, it's when you wake up in the morning, it's like, whoa, I feel so clear. It doesn't take me so long to wake up. And that's what I've really noticed with the brain blend.
Yeah, it's fascinating. We also have chaga syrup. We didn't really talk about that. We could
That's
talk.
all our stuff we
We
do.
could talk about chaga for hours. Multi-mushroom, rhodiola, balm of Gilead, elk velvet.
This is all stuff from Alberta.
And
we
it's-
have so much.
Yeah, it's the best of the best. Like it's the most scientifically backed up. Like we often have like all the science where we can just show people like this isn't just coming out of our mouths. Like this is like real stuff. Why isn't it commonly known? Well,
Yeah, one of our best products.
no.
Well, soon enough. I'm sure you can find some medicinal mushrooms in Safeway right now.
Yeah, all of our stuff is available at Light Cellar's web store. Just go online, type in
Yeah.
Boreal Bound, and we've got all our stuff
We got a pretty sweet Instagram.
ready to go. You can follow us on Instagram.
We post very controversial things.
We do plant walks. We do retreats. If you haven't already, we have an email list
Yeah.
just on your way out. Feel free to have another shot of the syrup. And now we're going to open it to questions. If you have
But it's just Boreal Bound. Boreal Bound. It's right there. Right there. Boreal Bound. But yeah, even the Yeti, we actually had a Yeti encounter and he was very stoked. He just drank our syrup up.
Yeah. Are there any questions online? Can you maybe check that out?
Oh yeah. Oh my.
Any more questions in the audience? Yep.
Oh yes. Okay, so we make two balms. One is the balm of Gilead.
That is a good question.
So the balm of Gilead is very pain killing. But the thing is, certain people are actually allergic to the balm of Gilead.
Yeah,
So-
so it's made with the buds of a poplar tree.
Yeah.
Poplar buds. It's actually quite biblical. Like it's referenced in the Bible a couple times. The Balm of Gilead. It would
So
be
it's
remiss
popular
if
buzz.
we didn't sing our song. One, two,
Should we?
three.
There is a balm in Gilead
to
to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin sick soul.
Yeah, it has salicin, which is converted into salicylic acid, which is like aspirin. So
Yeah, so
very
some
like
people that have,
anti.
aspirin allergies.
Yeah.
Can be allergic to the balm of Gilead. So that's why we made the Boreal balm. Because we wanted something for people that are allergic to the poplar. The poplar is superb though. The balm of Gilead is the best, one of the best things ever. Hey, you used it on your young son the other day. We get all these crazy testimonials.
I've got a
from
lot of
people.
anecdotal testimonials, but it's good for eczema, like flaky skin.
Yeah, but yeah, you have to be careful. Some people are allergic to the balm of Gilead. Is that natural selection? Is that a natural selection? I don't know. I don't know. Allergies are so weird. So interesting.
Yeah. No, great question though. Thanks for asking.
Allergies are so interesting.
Any more questions?
Yeah, we got the elk antler too. It's kind of wild. We have Alberta elk antler here, and no one seems to know about it. People know about it for their dogs. They'll buy it for their dogs. Joints and knees and lower back and stuff. But it's just as effective for humans. So funny.
Do you have a vegan option for that?
Well, the elk stuff.
It's obviously not vegan. It's encapsulated elk antler during the velvet stage of growth. So it's growing almost 1 inch a day.
Yeah, it's nuts.
There's something miraculous going during this growth phase, which has been scientifically shown to have IGF-1 like growth factors. So
we did
can repair muscles,
video
joints, tendons. Athletes really like it. It was actually banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency in 2013, I believe. But they couldn't keep it as a banned substance because it's a natural product, because it was helping athletes recover, increasing testosterone. Yeah. Very safe. It's considered a food, yeah. Like, yeah, you might give birth to a wild bull, though. I don't know.
It's very, very famously used after birth, actually.
Yeah, for like bone density and to making the structure of the woman stronger. Like
to restore everything.
Yeah. No, that's a great question too.
Very famously used for afterbirth in Chinese medicine.
But wait for them to open up, or get them when they are.
Oh, so yeah, so the balm of Gilead. I mean, I've got some pictures here somewhere. Let's see. And show. Everyone's familiar with poplar, right? Let's see,
Maybe.
like the poplar trees, they drop this sticky goo.
I guess that's a great question. When is the best time to pick it? And do the buds need to be opening up?
You want to get it before
you want to get it before because it has the resin. And
see.
So yeah, usually January to April is prime time. You could actually see the resin like oozing out during this time. And what you do is follow the beaver activity, because beavers love poplar trees. And so it's one of their favorite foods, and they'll chew down all the poplar trees, and then you make foraging really easy.
Yeah, I don't know if you can. Yeah, that's what you're after before they open. They've got that red goo. So exactly the stuff.
That's it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's worth its weight in
Now
gold.
you know.
That's worth its weight in gold. It's wild. Yeah, that's our little presentation for you. I hope you.
Yeah, thanks for coming, everyone. We
Yeah.
appreciate you spending your time. I know it's like a summer day out there. I can't wait to get out there, but thank you for coming. Where are you going?
Yeah. Yeah, let's go.
All right, thanks, guys. Thank you for the
Right
online
on,
people.
yeah, right on.
We'll
Thanks,
see you in the next
everyone.
one.
Follow along on the journey here. Yeah, we got a little newsletter there. We're going to be doing plant walks. So I think there's like 9 dates already set. There's like 9 dates set for, it's like, yeah, there's the artist gone. Okay, right on. Thanks, everyone. I'll stop the recording. Very technical. Hey, Mr. Edwards, you're new. You came by with your the artist club. Oh, sweet. Keeping it real. Well, sure, sure. Right on. Well, where are you? You're farther on back. Across the street. Okay. Okay, well, we'll meet you there then. Welcome. Oh, man, you had a good, you enjoyed your little presentation?
Yeah. That's kind of jiggling and just like.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what came over me in the beginning. I was. It's feeling funny. Feeling funny, I don't know. But we powered through. We powered through. Feeling good now. We like to talk about this kind of stuff. No, yeah, talk about a good herb for increasing circulation. No, this is literally worth like $35 a pound right now on the herbal marketplace. But it would take you a long time to pick a pound, right? Of these. Maybe if you found like a tree that was like fallen and you get that, but yeah, people are buying this stuff. Like $35 a pound. It's wild. It's like one of the most expensive herbs out there. Maybe because it's so hard to pick. Yeah, we have it everywhere here. Oh, go.